A magic carpet? Do you trust me?
What did you say?
Do you trust me?
Disney is planning a new live-action movie in the Aladdin universe, but I'm feeling a bit let down by the direction it's taking. The 2019 live-action Aladdin remake was a huge hit, making over $1 billion worldwide. So it's no surprise that Disney is looking into sequels and spin-offs. Right now, there's one spin-off planned in the Aladdin franchise, along with a Hercules movie, which could possibly be a crossover between the two, like we've seen in the animated versions. First, let's talk about the project I'm not too excited about. In the live-action Aladdin, there was a character named Prince Anders, played by the hilarious Billy Magnussen. He was one of Princess Jasmine's enthusiastic suitors, and his over-the-top personality brought an extra dose of humor to the movie. Magnussen's take on Prince Anders resonated with audiences so much that Disney decided to make a spin-off movie centered on him. Although the pandemic slowed things down, Magnussen has confirmed that the Prince Anders spin-off is still moving forward, and honestly, I can't help but feel a bit frustrated about it. A Prince Anders spin-off doesn't really make sense and could be problematic. While I found Prince Anders pretty funny, I'm puzzled that Disney would decide to center a whole movie around him. He never seemed like a main character type, so the idea of a film focused on Anders feels completely absurd. He was meant to be the comic relief, emphasizing that no man could rule Agrabah as effectively as Jasmine. To make him a protagonist, a lot of rapid character development would be needed, and honestly, Anders doesn't really warrant that kind of shift. Aladdin was unique for Disney in giving actors of color significant roles, and it's disappointing that Magnussen, the only white actor in the film, would be the one getting a spin-off. This isn't about the character or the actor themselves, it's more about the setting and the overall focus. A movie centered on Anders would likely take place in Scanland, his fictional homeland with hints of Norwegian or Russian culture. That type of setting is pretty common in Disney movies. So while a Prince Anders spin-off would technically still be part of Aladdin's world, it wouldn't capture the same charm or cultural richness of the 1001 Nights. A Prince Anders spin-off is especially frustrating because Princess Jasmine would be the most logical choice for another Aladdin film. She's the only Disney princess without her own movie, and after the bigger role she had in the 2019 live-action film, it would make sense for Disney to explore her reign as Sultan of Agrabah. That's the position Prince Anders would have had if he'd married Jasmine, and the 2019 movie made it clear he was undeserving, with his main qualification being that he was male. It's pretty ironic that Anders is getting a spin-off instead of Jasmine. I'd love to see a Princess Jasmine spin-off movie or show, but there are other Aladdin-related ideas that would be more exciting than a Prince Anders story. In the 2019 movie, Will Smith's Genie was put in a great position for more stories, especially with his wife Dahlia, as they set off on adventures on their boat. This could lead to endless story possibilities, with inspiration drawn from other tales in the 1001 Nights. Jasmine's mother is another character I'd love to see more of. Although she was only mentioned in the 2019 movie, she seemed like a compelling figure who was beloved by her people. There's also been talk of a Jafar prequel showing his journey from pickpocket to Grand Vizier. Any of these spin-off ideas would carry the cultural richness that makes the story of Aladdin so appealing. Unfortunately, I don't think the same could be said for the Prince Anders movie. On the flip side, Guy Ritchie wanted an Aladdin sequel but ended up with a much bigger Disney project. Among Disney's live-action remakes, Aladdin was the third highest grossing, just behind The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast. While audiences enjoyed Aladdin, critics were more mixed. They often praised the performances, production design, and music, but felt Ritchie's high-energy directing style didn't quite fit with the more laid-back tone of a Disney film. Even with critical opinions being a mixed bag, the financial success of Aladdin was undeniable. Its box office numbers almost guaranteed a sequel. Rumors of Aladdin 2 started circulating before 2019 ended, and by early 2020, a sequel seemed like a given. But instead, Ritchie got a different, even bigger Disney project to work on. Producer Dan Lin shared that Disney was already working on a sequel just 3 months after its release. At the time, it was believed that both Guy Ritchie and Will Smith would return for the follow-up. By February 2020, Variety confirmed that screenwriters John Gattens and Andrea Berloff had been hired to write the script. While the plot details were not disclosed, Dan Lin mentioned that the sequel would not be based on the existing animated sequels, The Return of Jafar or Aladdin and the King of Thieves, and instead would offer a new original story. However, after these early announcements, there was silence on the project. Things took a turn when Will Smith's career took a major hit after the 2022 Academy Awards incident involving Chris Rock, leading to a temporary hiatus from Hollywood. By January 2023, rumors circulated that Smith was still attached to the sequel and his role was set to expand. Yet by the summer of 2023, Mena Massoud, who played Aladdin, shared on social media that the sequel was unlikely despite the original film's success. With Hollywood strikes further delaying projects, there were no official updates on Aladdin 2 throughout 2023. In March 2023, Ritchie himself was interviewed by Collider and asked whether he could still see himself directing a sequel to what had been the biggest hit of his career. Ritchie responded with, "I'd very much like to. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed that experience. It was a great experience. That whole Disney thing, as you can imagine, is such a professional outfit. Just from that perspective, it was so much fun. I would very much like to. We'll wait and see. We have been kicking some ideas around for some time now, but it'd be great to do. It would be great to go back there." As much as Guy Ritchie might have wanted to return to the magic carpet ride that was directing Aladdin, the sequel hasn't progressed past the development phase. This has pushed Ritchie to move on and take on a new project, which, unsurprisingly, is another live-action Disney remake. Reports confirm that he's found his next movie to work on, continuing his connection to Disney's ongoing trend of live-action adaptations. It could be Disney's live-action remake of Hercules, a project that first made headlines in April 2020. By 2022, the New York Times confirmed the film's development, with the Russo brothers, known for their blockbuster MCU hits like Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Avengers: Endgame, attached as producers. They hinted at taking a unique approach to Hercules, suggesting this remake would differ from Disney's usual live-action adaptations by not sticking as closely to the original animated film storyline. Ritchie was officially announced as the director in June 2022 and expressed hopes to start filming by the end of that year. However, progress was halted by the Hollywood strikes, which, similar to the delays with Aladdin 2, caused chaos in the pre-production process for Hercules. Now there are talks that this new Hercules remake could potentially set the stage for a crossover with Aladdin, just like the 1999 animated series episode titled Hercules and the Arabian Night. References or even an outright crossover could be exciting and fresh for fans of both franchises, under the direction of Guy Ritchie. Well, that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this and other exciting upcoming movies. We'll see you next time.